Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. And if you're a true General Hospital fan, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get started with today's video. General Hospital, GH, spoilers for Tuesday, July 14th, indicate that Jason Morgan, Steve Burton, will discuss his time in WSB custody, while Kai Taylor, Jens Austin Astrup, makes a stunning discovery. Additionally, Valentine Cassadine, James Patrick Stewart, issues a threat. The Tuesday episode of General Hospital promises to be a memorable one, so let's go over all of the drama that's about to happen. First things first, Jason will explain his absence from Port Charles. During the promo video for tomorrow's show, Jason is seen at the Quartermain boathouse telling someone, likely Danny Morgan, Asher and Tonizin, that he has returned home permanently. Jason made an explosive return to the canvas on Monday, July 13th, but fans can tell he's changed just by how he looks and how much weight he shed. Will he tell Danny all that happened while he was away, or only the child version? Fans will need to tune in to find out. Across town, Kai will discover some shocking information. Is this related to Willow Kane, Caitlin McMullen? The young man works for the Congresswoman, and Willow keeps a lot of secrets, particularly about her husband, Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson. This might be about Drew. After all, General Hospital spoilers indicate that Drew will begin regaining movement this week. Will Kai notice Drew's arms or legs moving? Willow will exchange scenes with Jack Brennan, Chris McKenna, as she informs him of an urgent problem. It's difficult not to imagine she's talking about her husband and his recovery after he received his last paralytic dose a few days ago. Meanwhile, Jordan Ashford, Tanisha Harper, will strike out. She and a very pregnant Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, will have a heated argument in which Jordan informs her bluntly that she is prolonging the problem. Jordan's situation is the assault charges filed against Curtis Ashford, Donnell Turner, for beating and injuring Portia's surgeon lover, Isaiah Gannon. Will this interaction create enough stress to induce labor? Portia is due to start having contractions this week, thus this chat could result in birth at the worst possible time. Meanwhile, General Hospital spoilers for the July 14th episode reveal that Elizabeth Liz Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, will draw a line in the sand. Will this be a professional issue or something more personal? Tracy Quartermain, Jane Elliott, is shown in the show's Tuesday preview standing in front of the nurse's station. She's telling someone, "You would do well to be nice to me." Is she referring to Liz? When Tracy dug her heels in, the excellent nurse remained firm on Sunny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, who became the 16th member elected to the hospital board. Will Tracy give the head nurse a hard time about this? Only time will tell. Britt Westbourne, Kelly Thiebaud, will also appear on the July 14th show, warning an unknown person. That's where you're wrong. I'm making it your problem. Is she threatening Tristan Roberts, Dean Geyer? Summer spoilers hint that the two doctors will start out on the wrong foot. Since he arrived in Port Charles during the July 13th episode, he'll most certainly run into the britch on Tuesday, and it sounds like they'll clash right away. Finally, Valentine will have suspicions about something or someone. He'll also share the canvas with Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, telling him she's picked a fight that she's going to lose. It appears that the she he's talking to is Lulu Spencer, Alexa Havens-Bruning. A fact, the fight, is Lulu's attempt to keep Charlotte Cassadine, Bluesy Burke, away from him now that he is free. According to General Hospital previews, Charlotte is a daddy's girl through and through, and if Lulu continues on this path, her teen daughter will drift further away from her. Jason Morgan stepped from the private jet onto the runway at the little airfield just outside Port Charles, the salt-tinged air hitting him like a distant memory. His body still ached from his weeks in WSB captivity, the kind of deep, bone-weary anguish caused by concrete cells and interrogations that blurred the line between truth and survival. But he was free. Thanks to Jocelyn's dangerous agreement, he and Valentine had escaped Blacksite Hell. Now came the difficult part, confronting everyone he'd left behind. Carly Corinthos Spencer waited at the Quartermain launch, arms tightly wrapped around herself as the boat cut through the lake. When Jason came on the dock, Danny dashed from the shadows and collided with his father's chest. Jason held his kid, one hand on his back, feeling the strain in the teen's body. "You're really back," Danny said quietly. "Yes, youngster. I'm back." The gathering at the Quartermain residence was quieter than anticipated. Sonny was there, eyes alert and scrutinizing. Michael lingered protectively around his mother. Brooklyn and Chase exchanged looks as the weight of recent family secrets hung in the air. Jason sat in the living room, where so many plans had been made and broken over the years, and started speaking. He described the WSB operation, including the double agent Cullum, the cold fusion reactor threat, and Rocco's split-second choice to pull the trigger to save him. Jason had taken the fall. Not because he wanted to abandon his family, but because a child's future was on the line. "I couldn't let Rocco carry that," he remarked calmly. "Not when I've done worse," and walked away. Carly's eyes were filled with sorrow and hatred. "You led us to believe the worst, Jason. Again." "I know." He returned her look. "But I got out. And I'm not going anywhere this time." Valentine Cassadine observed from the sidelines, like a ghost in the corner of the room. He and Jason had shared a cell block and formed an uneasy bond out of survival. Valentine's instincts were already blazing at full capacity. Something about the manner Jocelyn arranged their release felt too neat and convenient. The WSB did not simply release assets like him and Jason without conditions. He excused himself early and slipped out into the night, his mind racing with ideas. Across town, at the hospital, Kai Taylor sat with Trina Robinson in a quiet cafeteria corner. Trina had been relying heavily on him since the fight with her parents. Portia and Curtis's continual squabbling had shattered their family, and Kai had persuaded her to prioritize herself. He believed in setting limits and protecting those you loved from unnecessary harm. But today, everything changed. Trina had taken a step back to accept a call from her mother when Kai's phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. A file was sent containing hospital security footage from weeks previously. He opened it, expecting nothing more than another bit of local gossip. Instead, he witnessed Willow Tate raise a gun and fire at Drew Kane in an act of pure desperation. The viewpoint was plain and unequivocal. Kai froze, the screen flashing in his palms. It was beyond shocking. Willow, the calm, collected Willow who was negotiating her hard existence with Drew and Michael, had shot someone. Kai now knew. He deleted the message quickly, his heart racing, but the image lingered behind his eyes. This was more than just gossip. This was the type of secret that could devastate lives, relationships, and even careers in Port Charles. He discovered Trina outside, her face lined with tiredness. "Is everything okay?" she inquired. Kai forced a smile. "Yeah." "I was thinking about how quickly things can change," he told her. God, he wanted to get rid of the weight. But who created this footage? Why him? Was this a warning or a setup? Kai's thoughts raced with the consequences. Supporting Trina through her family issues suddenly seemed minor in comparison to the bomb he was now carrying. Meanwhile, Jordan Ashford paced her office at the PCPD, a look of exasperation on her face. She had struck out again, hoping to acquire firm answers about the WSB situation. The feds refused to cooperate, asserting jurisdiction. Every lead regarding Cullum's death and the reactor catastrophe was turned into classified red tape. She slammed a file close, realizing Port Charles was once again a pawn in bigger games. Her intuition told her that Jason's homecoming would raise more questions than answers. Elizabeth Baldwin held firm in the hospital corridor, opposing a relentless administrator who pushed for adjustments to the nursing staff timetable. "No," she replied firmly. "My squad has gone through enough. We're not overworking them to make up for budget deficiencies." Her voice reflected the quiet strength that has defined her for years. After everything, losing Franco, raising her boys, navigating the maelstrom that was Port Charles, she refused to compromise on the things that were important. The administrator backed down, grumbling about reviews, but Liz stood firm. Small achievements in a town known for instability. Valentine went back to Anna Devane's apartment later that evening. She appeared different with her new haircut, sharper and more in control after her personal ordeals. They shared a moment of calm understanding, two former spies who knew the price of secrecy. But Valentine couldn't dismiss the suspicion that gnawed at him. Jocelyn's deal, he replied, pouring them each a drink. It was too perfect. Z does not release high-value targets without leverage. What if the WSB plays a longer game? What if Jason and I are still assets, but on a longer leash? Anna's eyes narrowed. Do you think they will come after us again? I believe we must be prepared. Valentine's voice conveyed a threat of action, a commitment to safeguard what was his, Charlotte, Anna, and even the fragile new ties forming. He refused to let the WSB, or anyone else, decide their future. Not anymore. The next morning, Jason met Sunny at the docks, with the water lapping against the pilings as it had done in the past. Sunny smacked him on the shoulder. You look like hell, but you're here. Feels good to be back, Jason said. He told Sunny more about the interrogations and how he doubted if he'd ever see Port Charles again. Rocco has saved my life. The kid has guts. Sunny nodded, but his countenance clouded. A lot happened while you were away. Jason stiffened his jaw as he said, Carly and Valentine. He'd heard the rumors and observed how they looked at each other. Is she happy? She's getting it. Sunny selected his words carefully. Loyalty ran deep, but so did history. They discussed strategy, protecting the family, anticipating WSB backlash, and keeping an eye on rising tensions with the Cassadines and others. Jason's return was more than simply personal, it was tactical. Port Charles had evolved, and he needed to catch up quickly. Kai could not sleep that night. He replayed the footage in his thoughts. He met with a contact the next day, a discreet source who confirmed the video's validity, but did not reveal the sender. Be careful who you trust with this, the source advised. Kai recognized this revelation was linked to wider webs, Willow's unraveling stability, Drew's recuperation, and the tenuous truce between the Quartermain and Corinthos orbits. A single wrong word might cause everything to explode. He found Trina again, this time at the park. He began, There's something I need to talk to you about, then paused. How much could he reveal, without jeopardizing her? Trina was already dealing with her parents' battle. Kai chose to test the waters indirectly. What would you do if you knew something that could harm a large number of people, yet remaining silent could harm them far more? Trina studied him. You scare me, Kai. Is this about my mother? My father? Not quite. He sighed. It's bigger than that. Their talk skirted the truth, with Kai's startling discovery serving as an invisible third party. He felt the weight of knowledge, how it distanced him even as he attempted to help the lady he loved about. Valentine's suspicions grew when he met Jack Brennan. The WSB links were too near for comfort. You played your part well, Valentine continued, his voice low and threatening. But if I find out Jocelyn was used as a pawn, there will be consequences. Brennan grinned faintly. Valentine, we all have our roles. Even you. The tension cracked. Valentine was not one to give empty warnings. He began making stealth calls, reactivating old networks and planning for contingencies. If the WSB believed they could dominate the narrative, they misjudged Cassadine's resilience. Later, Elizabeth paid Jason a visit at the Quartermain house, their shared past providing a comforting undercurrent. You look better than I expected, she added with a little smile. Feels like I've aged 10 years. He smiled back. How are the boys? They caught up, with Liz updating him on hospital tragedies and family changes. Her prior stand had repercussions. Worker morale improved, albeit momentarily. Elizabeth's stability was a beacon in a place fraught with danger. Jordan spoke with Laura Collins and vented about the jurisdictional boundaries. Mayor, we need real answers. No more secret bullshit. Laura nodded sympathetically. I will make calls. But you know how it goes. Jason is back, and with him comes scrutiny. The web of links tightens. Jason's explanations reverberated, impacting everyone. His WSB tale was more than simply a personal redemption. It sparked revelations around Port Charles. As the sun sank, Kai finally confided in Trina with a sanitized version. I saw something I should not have. About Willow. He did not show the film, but the weight was there. Trina's eyes widened. That could change everything for Michael and the kids, I know. Kai's revelation seemed like both a curse and a responsibility. He wondered if coming forward would be beneficial or detrimental. For now, he kept it hidden, another secret in a town based on them. Valentine approached Anna again, pulling her close. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. His threat to the shadows was implicit. He would burn bridges to defend her. No more games. Jason stood on the balcony of the Quartermaine mansion that night, gazing out across the lake. Danny joined him. "Dad, promise you won't leave again." "I promise to fight like hell to stay." The WSB story had pushed him, but Port Charles was home. Flaws, threats, and everything. The days were filled with confrontations and peaceful times. Jordan's efforts continued to fail, but she refused to give up. Elizabeth handled hospital politics with elegance. Kai carried his knowledge like a live wire, wondering when or how to release it. Valentine's intuition kept him a step ahead of the threats seething behind his polished veneer. In the end, Jason's reappearance added new strands to the ever-complicated tapestry of Port Charles. Explanations are offered, discoveries are made, and suspicions and threats linger like morning fog over the port. No one escaped unscathed. The townspeople held their breath, waiting for the next domino to fall. Port Charles is set to face another day of secrets, betrayals, and unexpected disclosures as tensions escalate throughout the city. Jason Morgan finds himself drawn deeper into a perilous issue related to the WSB, while Kai discovers knowledge that could change everything. Meanwhile, Valentine Cassadine proves once more that he is still one of the most dangerous men in town, delivering a chilling threat that puts everyone on edge. Jason has spent much of his life dealing with danger, but this current circumstance may be unlike anything he has ever faced. Despite his willingness to protect those he cares about, the secrets surrounding the WSB continue to complicate matters. Jason understands there are still missing parts to the jigsaw, and the more he examines, the more disturbed he becomes. The intriguing circumstances surrounding recent events have compelled Jason to explore old memories and perilous connections. He understands that the WSB never gets involved without a wider objective, and this understanding puts him on high alert. Jason starts piecing together information, attempting to figure out who can be trusted and who might already be working against him. As he investigates deeper, Jason expresses some of his concerns to those closest to him. However, he is hesitant to divulge everything he knows. He recognizes that one wrong move might endanger innocent lives. His protective instincts become stronger than ever, especially when he begins to think that numerous Port Charles citizens may be unintentionally involved in the emerging mystery. In other news, Kai has an unexpected encounter. When he discovers surprising information, what appears to be a routine scenario quickly escalates into something far more serious. Kai initially finds it difficult to accept what he has learned. The data looks to be undeniable, but the consequences are virtually impossible to comprehend. The revelation makes Kai reconsider everything he thought he understood. He realizes that someone could have been hiding the truth for a long time. As he analyzes his next steps, he realizes that disclosing this information could have serious ramifications for many individuals. Kai's emotions become increasingly complicated as he struggles with whether to remain silent or speak up. He bears a heavy burden of knowledge. He is afraid that speaking out may break relationships and cause chaos, yet maintaining silent may allow deadly secrets to continue. As he considers the problem, Kai begins to connect other clues, making the overall image even more disturbing. Every answer raises new questions, and he soon realizes that his discovery may be related to larger events unfolding throughout Port Charles. Meanwhile, Valentine remains as unpredictable and deadly as ever. Despite the numerous hurdles he has endured, he remains confident and determined. Valentine knows the power of information and is ready to take advantage of every opportunity. When Valentine confronts someone with a scary warning, the environment quickly gets hostile. His remarks carry enormous weight, since everyone knows he can keep his commitments. The threat serves as a reminder that Valentine should never be underestimated. Those who get Valentine's warning must recognize the gravity of the situation. They begin to wonder if they made a significant error by crossing him. Fear and doubt spread as they attempted to understand Valentine's genuine intentions. Valentine's acts also cause anxiety among others in Port Charles. Many people have discovered via experience that whenever Valentine gets engaged with something, unforeseen repercussions usually occur. His mere presence causes anxiety, and this latest development only adds to the already high tensions. At the same time, alliances in Port Charles continue to shift. Several characters find themselves compelled to evaluate who they can trust. Hidden agendas begin to emerge, putting long-standing relationships to the test. The pressure is increasing, and everyone believes that significant changes are on the way. Jason's investigation puts him on a collision course with powerful forces. Every new piece of information strengthens his belief that something much bigger is going on behind the scenes. He becomes increasingly determined to find out the truth, regardless of the risks involved. However, Jason recognizes that his actions may make him a target. Individuals associated with the WSB are not known for being merciful, and they will almost certainly go to any length to protect their secrets. This awareness drives Jason to be cautious as he moves forward. As events unfold, numerous Port Charles residents begin to notice odd behavior in individuals around them. Suspicion builds and rumors spread. Some people try to find out the facts on their own, while others just want to avoid getting caught up in another deadly confrontation. Kai's startling finding is also influencing his interactions with others. He struggles to conceal his feelings, and those closest to him quickly see something is wrong. Questions begin arising, placing Kai in an increasingly untenable position. The more pressure he feels, the more difficult it becomes to conceal his secret. Kai understands that the truth cannot be hidden forever. Decisions must be taken at some point, and the implications may have long-term consequences for many people.